Big game, Liverpool taking on Newcastle. A few Christmas presents on show. Jamie has his new Christmas tracksuit. And Gary Neville asked for a Christmas surprise as well. So we've sent him to Anfield. He's going to love that tonight, isn't he?
Well, he's complaining about the atmosphere, so hopefully they make him eat his words tonight.
We will see. Why is this so important for Liverpool, would you say?
I think on the back of sort of City, you know, coming back world champions, looking like they're getting back into the groove in the last two games, Arsenal dropping points. It feels like a big game for Liverpool to capitalise on where Arsenal are right now. Lost the last two, but City is starting to look like City, basically. It feels like, you know, the second half of the season we'll see the real them, and they'll go on, still in my eyes, to win the title. But I think Liverpool win tonight, and it feels like, you know, the second half of the season will be a real fight between them, City, and of course Arsenal and Aston Villa.
Yeah, don't forget them. Did you say Spurs?
It's a tight title race.
But well, there's only 3 points between 5 sides right now, which makes it incredibly exciting. So Liverpool really have to make a statement of intent, don't they, a little bit tonight?
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of times through this season, I've still said I'm not convinced Liverpool can win the title, because maybe I'm going on the back of the last time Liverpool win the title, and this team isn't as good as that one. Maybe it's a season where there's a drop-off in terms of points needed, but we are talking about a team who's lost one Premier League game in the last 30, going back, you know, to last season. So it's a very good record. So it is a very good team, and I think there's potential there for it to become a great team.
Could Newcastle surprise them? In what state do they arrive at Anfield tonight? Not
in a great state. They're on a form that they're on, but there's no doubt we've seen at stages, or most of last season, at stages this season, that there's still a top team there who can play with great energy and great pace. Newcastle caused Liverpool real problems in the game earlier on in the season at St James's Park. Liverpool were fortunate, you know, it was just one of those days. Nunes comes off the bench and gets the brace, but for large parts of that game, Newcastle were the superior team. So that should give them some belief and some confidence. But for any team now, not just in the Premier League, anywhere in Europe, coming to Anfield is one of the toughest places you can go to.
I think it has been a fair reflection of their form. We've probably not seen Liverpool quite at their best throughout this campaign, but this is a side that's in development as well, don't forget. And I was wondering if they were to go 3 points clear at the top, in fact even 5 points clear of Manchester City this evening, whether that would be enough to make Liverpool favourites for the title just now, or is it the fact that City, we know, can hunt down leaders, they've done it in the past, whether that still means that Manchester City would be favourites for the title. Liverpool have still got to get through a lot over the next few weeks as well. Don't forget, this is Mo Salah's last game before going off to the African Cup of Nations as well. He's just one short of 150 Premier League goals for Liverpool as well. He'd be the 5th player to reach that milestone as well for one club in the Premier League. But he's set to miss those games, league games against Bournemouth, Chelsea, Arsenal and Burnley, as well as the cup games against Fulham and Arsenal as well, of course. He's the only player, Liverpool player, to start all 19 Premier League games so far. He's had 19 goal involvements as well, 12 goals and 7 assists. That's the most in the Premier League in terms of goal involvements as well. Liverpool currently this season are 13 points better off than they were at the halfway stage last time around. It's a better defensive record, better in front of goal as well, so improvements all round the pitch. Yet Jurgen Klopp says in his programme notes this evening that there's still a lot of improvements to come as well. So what are those improvements? He's kind of alluded to it when we spoke to him earlier this week ahead of this game as well, when he said that Liverpool are still going through a process in terms of becoming regular title challengers once again.
Disappointing end to 2023 for Newcastle United. Lee Ryder follows Newcastle week in, week out for the Newcastle Evening Chronicle, so probably knows better than most. What's happened?
Yeah, I think the European campaign was always going to be a challenge for Newcastle, and it's proved to be exactly that, and I think they've struggled to cope with that. The injuries, the schedule, they've had setbacks as well. Obviously there's been a bit of an investigation with the medical team and what they could do better. The injuries have been particularly bad, haven't they, this year?
Absolutely.
I mean, at one point the absentee list was up to 14 players, so an absolute nightmare situation for Eddie Howe, and that's hit them very hard.
So I suppose the most important question from a Newcastle point of view is, what do they need to do to get things back on track?
Well, first and foremost, you need to get 3 or 4 players back on the pitch, which you will do tonight, and then obviously they just need to break this duck and get a positive result, even a draw.
30 years since Newcastle last won at Anfield in the Premier League.
Long time ago. And yeah, I mean, you know the history of the club better than most as well, and this is a wretched venue. It's an awful night weather-wise, and it's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, Newcastle's record over this sort of festive period, Boxing Day, New Year's Day, isn't historically particularly good either.
No, and the festive period before this, losing at Luton, losing at home to Nottingham Forest, very difficult, a real nightmare really for Eddie Howe, and he does not want to go into that Sunderland game on the back of a bad result.
What about Eddie Howe? Obviously, bad run of results. Anfield tonight, very difficult. Sunderland in the FA Cup brings with it all the history and tradition of that derby. Then it's Manchester City. Is there any pressure on Eddie Howe, do you think?
I think there's always pressure on managers, especially when you lose away at Luton and you lose at home to Nottingham Forest in the manner that they've done. The one thing I will say is tonight, regardless of the result, even if they get beat, it's about the manner of the performance. Are they going to go out there and put up a fight for Eddie Howe? That will be something that everyone will be looking at closely tonight.
Can you see Newcastle getting a result?
I think it's going to be very difficult. I'd love it if you offer me a point now, but I think our record could be bad and may well continue here. But look, strange things happen in football. Strange things happen with Newcastle United. I'm never going to say they're going to lose a game.
Just a reminder, the last time Newcastle met Liverpool on New Year's Day was the day when Laurent Robert scored that, what turned out to be a Hollywood strike. You never. A very happy new year from a very wet Anfield. Liverpool start 2024 top of the Premier League and with genuine hopes of just a second English title in 34 years. Jurgen Klopp's side, very much the form team in England right now. Just one defeat in the league all season at Tottenham and unbeaten in 14 domestically. Liverpool haven't lost on New Year's Day since 2005, although they did lose the last time they played Newcastle on the first day of a calendar year. Anyone remember Laurent Robert's strike that was immortalised by Hollywood?
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أهلا بكم مشاهدينا الكرام. ريال سوسيداد وألفش في مباراة في الجولة 19 من الدوري الأسباني لموسم 23-24 هيستضيف فريق ريال سوسيداد فريق ألفش. في فيديو النهارده هقول لك على موعد هذه المباراة وكمان ترتيب كل فريق في جدول الدوري قبل هذه المباراة. ريال سوسيداد لعب 18 مباراة قبل هذه المباراة. قدر انه يفوز في 8 وتعادل في 7 وخسر في 3. عنده كام نقطة ريال سوسيداد؟ عنده 31 نقطة، سجل 29 جون، دخل مرمى 18 جون، وهو بالنتيجة دي كلها يحتل المركز السادس في الدوري الاسباني. اما ألفش فهو لعب ايضا 18 مباراة، فاز في 4، تعادل في 4، اتغلب في 10، جاب 14 جون، دخل مرمى 24 جون، وعنده 16 نقطة وهو في المركز ال16. شكرا لكم على مشاهدة الفيديو. طيب متى موعد هذه المباراة؟ مباراة ألفش وريال سوسيداد أو ريال سوسيداد وألفش هتتلعب يوم الثلاثاء الموافق 2 يناير 2024 وستنطلق هذه المباراة في تمام الساعة 8:15 مساء بتوقيت القاهرة. شكرا لكم على مشاهدة الفيديو.